Well, what's up again there, guys? Brian here, the 3 Topics Gamer, and I just got done finished watching the latest PlayStation 5 showcase, and just want to give you my initial thoughts, how having actually seen the whole thing and a lot to process, everything that they showed us, and I gotta say, this was a great showcase. It was a perfect follow-up to the PlayStation 5 console reveal. We got just about everything we wanted to see in this particular video, along with a few surprises that even I didn't see coming. So I'm just going to run down pretty much everything that they pretty much showed off. But if you happen to enjoy this video by the end, please do not forget to give this video a thumbs up and press the subscribe button. You would happen to enjoy content like this and would like to see more of it moving forward. So the first thing that they showed off was Final Fantasy 16. I gotta be honest, after being really disgusted with what they did with the Final Fantasy VII supposed remake and thinking that we weren't even gonna get a Final Fantasy 16, I'm pumped up for this. Now that I have an alternative option to the Final Fantasy VII Remake Part 2, if that's what you want to call it, because I'm avoiding those games like the plague. It's nice to know I have a Final Fantasy game that I can focus on, and it looks like it's going to be much more old school. It reminds me of older games in the franchise, like Final Fantasies like 6 and 5 and 4 all the way back. So I like seeing that with just a modern day take on it. So that looks very, very impressive. The next thing that they just showed us is some gameplay of Spider-Man Miles Morales, and I thought it was going to be a copy and paste job, but I think I can openly say that Miles Morales as a combatant is a much different beast than Peter Parker, with a whole new set of different abilities and techniques that'll allow him to make him stand apart from Peter Parker, which I'm happy to see. And they did go a little bit more into the story in terms of like when this game takes place, and I'm happy to see that. And I thought like all of the action set pieces were just absolutely incredible. This is definitely going to be a great game to play on the PlayStation 5, or heck, I might even be able to play it on the PlayStation 4. Then this was a game that I didn't really expect, but now that I know it exists, I absolutely want to play this, and that is Hogwarts Legacy. This I didn't expect. It looks like it's gonna be kind of like a maybe semi-open world action adventure title that takes place in Hogwarts during, I believe, the 1800s. So it's nice to know that we will be dealing with a Wizarding World story that has absolutely nothing to do with any of the characters or any events that take place in the Harry Potter universe. So I'm happy about that. It's gonna be great visiting Hogwarts again. Hopefully I'll be able to join my favorite house, which is Ravenclaw, and go on a whole bunch of different adventures and take on a whole bunch of different wizards and learn all these different special spells, and that just looks like a lot of fun to play, and it'll look gorgeous to play with. So there was that. Next thing they showed us is just like some gameplay footage of a campaign mission for the upcoming Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War game. Now, I was already planning on playing this game when it came out, so heck, they didn't really need to show me anymore, but from what I did see, it's all the great Call of Duty action that we've come to know over the series over the last number of years, so nothing really too surprising, but heck, I can't wait to get my hands on it when it comes out later this year. Then they showed us some more footage of Resident Evil Village. Again, I'm not into this new style that they're doing with Resident Evil games in terms of making it a first-person shooter. Not interested. Hopefully, I mean, they supposedly are going to be remaking the Resident Evil 4 game, which I really would not want them to do too soon. I would prefer they do a Code Veronica game first, then they could go into 4, because I still think that 4 in the current state that it's in is already a perfect game. But heck, it just looks like it's just going to be more of the craziness that we've come to see from Resident Evil, and they're just going further with it with a somewhat fantasy type of setting. It's a little bit weird, but it is not a game that I'm interested in even in the slightest. Then they showed us some more gameplay footage of Deathloop, another game I'm interested in playing. They did kind of explain a little bit more of the concept and how things actually work in terms of your approach, taking out these targets, and how you can actually affect certain events that force them to be closer to other targets so you could take them all out. So it seems like you're given like a time limit that you have to take out your 8 main targets before you're taken out, and then you got to try again. So I'm really curious to see how that mechanic works out when the game finally comes out. Then another game I'd hoped something like this was going to come out. I'm happy that they finally announced it, but we are now officially going to get a Devil May Cry 5 Special Edition with Virgil being playable. I expected that something like this was going to come out, because they did do a special edition for 3 and they did do a special edition for 4, so having a special edition for 5 isn't too surprising. They both also allowed us to play as Virgil. The one thing I want them to add, I hope that they do this, and that is to give Virgil a legitimate amount of focused campaign missions. I don't want them to do what they've been doing with the last two special editions, in which they make Virgil playable, but you just play through the main story. I would be more than happy if they give us, like, I don't know, 10, 15, 20 minutes of exclusive cutscenes focusing on Virgil and his point of view of certain events, as long as at least 3 or 4 chapters that have exclusive levels just for him. That is the only thing I ask for. I don't expect for a full campaign for him, but just a few missions, a few dedicated missions focused for him. If you give me that, then there's no question that this special edition will probably be the best special edition that we've ever had for any Devil May Cry game. And that's what I hope to see. Next, they showed us some more footage of Oddworld Soulstorm. Not a big Oddworld fan, but heck, I know that it does have its fans, so I'm sure they'll enjoy it. Then they showed some gameplay footage for Demon Souls. Again, it's another franchise. I'm not a big Souls fan. I recently just tried playing one of their Souls games, and I just couldn't get into it. It's just not my style, but I know a lot of people are going to be really pumped up for that, and the game looks absolutely amazing. And then they pretty much ended off with showing us some PlayStation Plus benefits. I've been a PlayStation Plus member for, like, I don't know how many years since it was first announced, so it's nice to see that there's going to be a number of key games that I can get to play when the PlayStation 5 comes out. And they did give us a price for both versions of the PlayStation 5, in which it was exactly where I expected it to be. The disc version is going to be $4.99, and the digital is going to be $3.99. That's perfect. That's exactly where I expected. However, I did state that I do not plan on getting one at launch, and I plan to stick with that. I think at earliest I see myself getting a PlayStation 5 is probably May. I think giving the system like a good 5, 6, 7 months to get its footing is a good choice, especially from my experience with the PlayStation 4 launch and me not really needing to get one for that amount of time. So I'm happy with these prices. It's definitely manageable. I think it's fair because I know that the PlayStation 4 is going to still be around for a little bit long. So yeah, I think these prices are perfect. And they closed off with showing us a teaser for God of War 5. I'm guessing they're going to call it God of War 5 Ragnarok. I'm saying this right now. Just call it God of War 5. I don't like how the God of War 4 is just called God of War. It's a continuation from the first number of games. Okay, there's nothing wrong with calling it God of War 5. Just call it God of War 5 Ragnarok. They did give us a year, and it said 2021. Now this is just how I feel. I do not believe for even a second that God of War 5 is going to come out in 2021. I think we will get like a trailer or some gameplay in 2021, but I think the game will come out at least 2022 or at latest 2023. I think it's way too soon to give us a God of War game. I would not want a God of, like, trust me, I thought that God of War 4 was an incredible game. Definitely game of the year, and probably like my second favorite game that has come out this entire generation. But I think that having a God of War game come out in its first year of a new console, I think it's just too soon. That's just my opinion. I think we need to give this system a year, get a good number of games to surround it, and then we lead off with the big guns with God of War 5 coming out, 2022. I think that's the perfect time to release a game of that magnitude. So overall, I thought the showcase was great. It showed me a number of great games that I know I will be playing on the PlayStation 5, as long as a number of games that I will be sure to play digitally on the PlayStation 4. Price was exactly where I want, and I think that with the Xbox and the PlayStation's release dates only being about 2 days apart, I believe that the Xbox comes out on the November 10th and the PlayStation 5 comes out November 12th. That's crazy that it's coming that close apart. So I think that this upcoming next generation of consoles is going to be an exciting one. So those are just my thoughts on this PlayStation Showcase. I would love to hear your guys' thoughts. Were you guys surprised by any certain announcements? Let me know in the comments down below. And if you happen to enjoy this video, remember, don't forget to give me a thumbs up. And like always, thank you guys for watching. You're awesome, and I will see you next time.